Hey, it's Ryan. Today I want to talk about change. Change is, change is a lot of things. Change can be scary, change can be exciting, change can be fun, change can be incredibly difficult. But at the end of the day, that's all we can truly count on, right? Is things will change. So, how do we respond to those moments? And how do we change in a way that makes sense for us, for you, for me? How do I make significant changes in my life in a way that's successful, in a way that follows my path, my journey, that allows me to be the most authentic person that I can be? I can remember a time, I grew up in the Midwest, so that tells you something about where I'm heading with this next bit. But I can remember a time when every meal that I ate had some sort of meat product in it, right? So, golly, it's hard for me to think about that now. It's crazy. But there was a time that I was given the request of having, because I do a lot of the cooking in our family, and I was given the request of eating more vegetables. And I couldn't even wrap my head around that. That was like a foreign language, a foreign thought. I just couldn't even, it's like every plate I ever saw growing up and into my 20s and 30s and some of my 40s had, meat on it, meat protein of some kind. And I knew that that was a positive change. I knew that would be a positive shift, but I didn't know how to do it. And there was a lot of resistance. I was putting up a lot of resistance to it because the resistance was more, I believe, the fact that I couldn't figure out how to do it, which sounds absolutely ridiculous when I think about it now. But it's true. I didn't know how to do it. And then something changed in me. Something actually changed in me. I'm not going to get into that right now, but the shift was significant and it created an opening for me to do something different. And so I bumped up against this, how do I make meals without meat protein again? And I knew that what I'd done in the past, I didn't feel successful. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel authentic. It felt clumsy. It felt awkward, which sometimes that's what change is. It's clumsy and awkward. I get that. So I started looking for resources, websites, meal plans, all sorts of different things. And in the process of that, I found a program that made sense to me. It made sense in the way that it was kind of spoon-fed. It taught me how to do this. Because every time I closed my eyes, there wasn't an option for me to understand that, right? So here's this new meal plan where I basically pick out things. And in the process of picking out things for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it spits out a grocery list. And then I go and get that stuff, prepare it, blah, blah, blah. Well, it stuck. And it became possible and it became real. And, for the most part, it has been with me ever since. But I couldn't do it by myself. I thought I could, but I couldn't do it by myself. And so I found resources to help me do that. And it was clumsy and awkward, and I figured it out. And after a while, it started to make sense. And to this day, it's continued to make sense. I had a mentor once who said, significant change doesn't often happen when the person does it for themselves. And that is like wicked sad to think about. The fact that we know that something's going to make us feel better, but we can't actually get out of our own way to accomplish whatever it is that is. And he says, if that person who's making the shift or the change, if that person connects it to somebody else, they're more likely to be successful at that shift or that change. So for the sake of that person, I will do X, Y, or Z, whatever it may be. So think about it in your own life. Think about it, the shifts and the changes in your own life. Who did you make them for? Or did you not? It's very possible that you didn't. Now think about the shifts and the changes in your life that you wanted to make, but you couldn't. You couldn't figure out how to do it. Now, if you pause and you think of a special somebody in your life, and you say, for the sake of that person, I will do this. I will make this change. I will do life differently, whatever it may be. Does that change become easier? And for me, dollars to donuts, it does. And for a lot of my folks that I've worked with, it has. But I digress. Okay. So what I want you to get from this is shifts and changes can be difficult, particularly when we don't have the resources that we need to make the shift or change to be successful. So find your team, build your team. If you don't know how to do something, ask, right? And then when you want to make that shift or that change, connect it to somebody. For the sake of this person, I'm going to make this change. So every time that you come up against whatever it is that you're working on, that person will be front of mind. And when they become front of mind, it's easier to make that decision, right? Play with it. See what you learn. And let me know. Okay. Have a great day.